just want to say, so I'm also the vice president of the NAACP on campus. And so I kind of live in this tension. So the way I kind of feel like reaching out to the Black community works is kind of still get involved in those historically Black organizations and kind of change it from the inside out. And I'm facing like a lot of pushback. Of course, it opens us up to have those kind of conversations about what it means to be Black, that the definition of Black doesn't change just because you have a different set of ideals. And so my question becomes, in these spaces and in these conversations, how do you still honor what it, historically what it means to be Black, but still kind of galvanize the Black community to the future and not just looking at the past?
Well, first question, what does it mean historically to be Black?
Well, that like still saying, okay, yeah, it was cool, Brown v. Board of Education. Yeah, we needed certain things to happen, but that's the America that our grandparents and great-grandparents lived in is not the same America today.
I always think that the greatest way to honor your past is to embrace your future.
Right.
Right? So our ancestors lived through a lot of stuff, right? Why? Why did they live that? Why did they survive all of those things? Right, my grandfather, who is alive today, grew up picking cotton, laying tobacco out to dry in an attic. He's my hero, he's my idol, and he worked really hard. Never once in my entire life growing up in his house did he tell me that I couldn't do something because I was Black. Never once growing up in his house did I hear him accuse people of being racist, right? Hear it all the time from people that never lived through anything, right? You'll hear it all the time from Black Lives Matter, CNN host Don Lemon, and to me, it's insulting because I think the greatest way to honor our past is to embrace our future, to realize that we're Americans. They fought through all of that so we could be Americans and be here today. So that's what I'm constantly... That's what I'm doing. I'm just moving forward. I'm saying I no longer have to be held on to the bondages of the past because it's not serving me. It's not serving anybody to be a victim. We already won.
Yeah.
Slavery doesn't exist. Segregation doesn't exist. We've had a Black president for 2 terms who, by the way, did absolutely nothing for the Black community.
Nothing.
Okay? Absolutely nothing. So we no longer have to think that way. We can just vote somebody into office because they're an American and they believe in the American dream. So I want to commend you for being willing to sort of swim into these territories where people are constantly trying to hold on to the past and telling us why this is so important. People that really have very little understanding of our history. Yeah. Truly, if you speak to them, they have no idea what they're talking about. Nothing. But also be aware that who they're funded by. Yeah. Be aware the money that's being injected into there and why. So I would say what you're doing is great. I tend to just try to get my ideas in front of people regardless. I don't need an NAACP. As I said earlier, I spoke at an HBCU. Yeah. Being brave enough to stand on the stage and saying I am American first is what you should do.